Thanks. Hey, it's Car 36, and we are recording. We've got an interview in a little bit with Access Analyze player, but hold on a second. So I'm going to just play through a round of Access Analyze 1942 while I wait for my guest to arrive. I believe I will see him when he pops. So we're going to do the, this is 1942, and I just want to explain that this has a lot more functionality than the other game, the one on Steam from Beamdog. I appreciate the effort. I always appreciate whoever is producing Access Knowledge content. But the functionality here is just beating that. There's no forgiveness in that game. You click the button and it is done. This has an edit feature. You can edit non-combat moves. For instance, in a game I recently played, I completely forgot that there was only 8 troops allowed in Russia. Huge mistake. But anyways, and I once forgot there was someone in Archangel. Could have caught it before the other fellow went. Generally speaking, on accessknowledge.org, that's allowed. But yeah, so this is the 912, and let's see how we do. This is the important one. Okay, so we're going to try to raid this. Can possibly do that. So that was an excellent first round, but not good for a raid. So this looks like I'm going in because I got to take out at least one of those two. So we go in and we have a lot left over. That's tremendous. We'll move this anti-aircraft in. The non-combat moves, that could be pretty standard. This one, that one, very well. Golly, one shot of that thing. That's crazy. All right, well, I'm in a lucky streak with this. Last 3 starts have been very good. So these are going to go back there. That's going to come forward. This makes this really tough, this anti-aircraft here. This one comes down here. This goes here, and this goes here, and we're gonna. This is actually the place where I want all my troops to go, and there's a reason for that. The United States is can land planes there when it finally gets into position. So, which is going to be right here, and then right here. All right, we'll finish it out by putting sub into here, and that's. And then this, the functionality here. Check this out. Press this button in the right corner, and you see all active troops. Anything that has any sort of movement left is indicated right here. Okay, and then done. And you place the 4 infantry here, max, not one at a time, 4 infantry here, max, boom, done. Functionality is really good. Could do a save here. It's a very good start. And I will go on, and I'm going to do what I'm calling the just sort of the basics. And the basics here is you would buy 6 tanks and go for a Russia crush. You know, we want to learn the basics so that we can do something else besides the basics. So we want to protect our tanks. So we're going to not worry too much about this. See what we can, but we do have to be careful with this combined. We do have a lot, 12, 13 infantry, 3 artillery, 4 tanks. And it's a pretty powerful force, so we need to protect ourselves. And we can only get, so I'm not the best Axis player, but obviously this is the best I can get out of the Axis. That right there. There we go, we got 5 there, and then we can bring a bunch of tanks there. Watching my man Godfrey on TMC or something. Okay, and we'll bring it in there, do a combat, a bombardment. Obviously, some people do Transjordan, not a big fan myself. Send 1 in there, gonna lose them, but obviously got to be careful. So 11 units, I've got 13 there, but he's got tanks. That is the most I can get. That is not exactly the best. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's try for here. 1. 1, 2. And then we'll go here. We'd like to get a little, because there's 1 anti-aircraft here, getting over 3, obviously you start actually getting some sort of advantage out of your planes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I succeed down here, that saves this. So what I think I'll do is actually take everything out of Karelia. Just trying to make sure Karelian forces. We don't have to have a lot in there. We can bring them in there later. There we go. Okay, so we only need 1 guy in there, and we're gonna try to go with these 2 guys, and then we'll see how the battle goes. 1, 2. Oh, I forgot about this one. All right, so I would think that this is a pretty good 7, 8, 12. And then I'll put everything there according to. All right, let's do it. All right, not great. Okay, oh, that's right. That's great because he missed. Uh, that's the bombardment. Excellent. 3 hits is not great, but enough in this case, and that is fantastic for the Germans. As lucky as the Russians got, they got unlucky, and that is somewhat too bad. Honestly, I think it's double hit. Wow. Okay. Oh boy, look at that. I hate that. I hate that that works. Hate that that works. British luck, nice. British luck, actually, sure. Um, yep. Okay, let's just go with it. That's what most people would. Should have taken a cruiser. Doggone it. All right. I'll go here. That's a great location. And then I have all the freedom in the world because there's now 10, 11, 12, 13 units. I'll go here. Nine, 10, 11. My man Godfrey. All right. All right, seems good to me. I think this is would be fairly good. There's a British thing, transport that can bring British over, but I've got a reactionary force here. All right, this looks good to me. I'm gonna call that a day, and we'll go here, and we'll go here. These obviously can be very much crushed. I believe the force, I have enough options with this force that endangers Moscow, but you can't go too bold here. All right. All right, and we end up with, just show you some functionality here. We have the history. There's a dramatic show. To show you that I could roll right through these turns. It'll animate it for me. And then you look on the right panel and it takes you there and actually takes all my machinations, what options I considered. And I took all that back and then found out that I won and moved it all back in. See the dice rolls in the right panel. So again, the functionality is pretty tremendous. Much better, I think, than the Beamdog. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So we're gonna look at this, and we're gonna say that we're gonna save $10. But we're gonna build 3 infantry and 1 aircraft, saving $12. That save is eventually gonna come across with a drop. But in the meantime, we're going to focus all of our energies where it needs to go. So this is what I like to do these days. I love taking this out, but even better than taking that out is making him build another transport and starving continental Asia. That is even better than taking out even airplanes. So this is obviously a low pressure situation, although not a no pressure situation because those troops are still there. So I will go ahead and take that over, but I will also go ahead and send that. This to come back to sort of compensate. I'm going to bring this down here, and this will eventually come down here, as well as I'll leave this here for the minutes. Then we got some action to do over here. Oh, rats. All right. All right, so that is what I like to do. I do not know whether it is, this is what I'm calling sort of a Operation Ricochet. I don't mean to make war at the beginning. I just don't think I'm in position to do that. So I'm going to try to run away with these guys. Probably try to combine a fleet over here. This fleet and this fleet. And then perhaps even this right here. And this got left alone, so this will eventually go down here. But at first, I got to figure out what's going on with this battle. If this battle goes poorly, then I need to do something else. So I'm going to hold off on that. I believe I can do everything else. I'm not going to move this yet. Let's see how the battles go. Just checking if my guesses showed up yet. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Here we go. All right. We killed both subs. That's excellent. We killed the destroyer. That's excellent as well. The other thing about this setup that I'm doing here, this attack, is it's almost always successful. So because of this, India is not threatened at all. There's no tanks, there's no cruisers. So you can actually, just just playing around here. This is not serious, but you could. Oops. One thing to be aware of is this right here. But with this, and this, it's fairly comfortable. And then I like to, let's see, bring those guys down here. It's going to take a while, but it's only going to be 2 versus these 3. It's pretty hard battle. So obviously these guys are going to move back here, but I'm just trying to demonstrate that there's that you can move those to Persia. I'm going to move them back. I don't want to be air raided. And I'm going to actually move those back there. Okay. And that seems good to me. And then we're going to land this plane back here. And I don't want any sea lion possibilities. Of course, there's no. Now I know what to do down here. And I can bring this. And this is nice. This is a nice, like I said, I've got a Southern Navy right here, and here. And that looks really good. This one can go into here. All right, so that is my first turn English move. I like it, and took care of a lot of problems, but played pretty conservatively, and should be able to retain everything I have. And there we go. Okay, so that's the British, and I really like what I've done so far. I'm going to pause it because the washing machine my mom's washing machine is going off. Oh, there it went. Okay, so the Japanese. So again, I'm not the best Axis player in the world, but I'm going to go with a 2 transport builds, and that's we haven't seen what the Americans are going to do, and I'm going to play a pretty conservative. You can go crazy, go here. Not exactly the biggest fan. I'm going to what strategy I'm going to play is I'm going to play a eat up Russia, eat up China, and bypass India. So I will walk here. And then the big thing I need to be concerned about right now is I need to be concerned that the transports that are going to come into the game can go here safely. Oh. Oh, I did something. Okay, so the battleship has to come here. This you press all, and it all comes here. Let's go back though, undo all, and just bring in there. And I can go here. And, this is good. And oh, you have to also be careful that planes or a bomber cannot be raided and just hit from this, because this fighter here can hit the sea zone. So that's pretty good for that lone fighter right there. And I will actually bring a fighter. There. Okay, and I'm going to assume we win that. There we go. That's pretty good. Uh, I think this is good. I'm going to trust that, and then I just have to shoot the planes. And this is free to go into here. And then all right, I think that's looks pretty good. All right, let's do it. Battle in 61. All right, so there's two aircraft carriers there. Now I do need to protect the bomber. Let's go here. Okay, that is that's good. All right, I don't think that can be taken over by anyone, so we will go ahead with that. That looks pretty good. And then finally, so this is my purchase for America these days. I like it. With a carrier already there. That's my factory, fighter, aircraft carrier. Are you sure you don't want to move? No, I'm not sure actually. I'm gonna take a look down here. This is probably either the Russians that go in here, and then if this was 2 or this was 2, I would go here or here with that, trying to destroy those Japanese infantry. Take a look at with this aircraft, take a look at that, and instead I am going to ignore all that. I could raid this, not worth it obviously. 50-50 coin splits. So I'm going to bring this up here so it projects power over season 6. And that'll be the whole purpose. This is a lot of pressure. I'm going to back these guys out of here. All right, let's get everything up to this bay. Right there. Headway is not worth anything, so I'll bring this back here. And let's see here. Okay, and I'm going to use, I've already got 2 and I've got 1 on the way. So I'm going to bring these down to here. Gotta be careful about bombers. Bomber is way up there. So that bomber can reach a long ways, let me tell you. Don't forget about that cruiser. And we'll support that. These have to wait until we get a transport belts. And then we do our active right here, down here. Active units. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Yes. Yep. Yes. I like it. Again, there's nothing that he can do about these moves. And they're pretty kind of, they're building and they build nicely to a future that is a good future. So we take a look at the map. This is how my first turn would look for all sides. Start off with the Russians. The Russians will have taken over Ukraine and West Russia and be in fairly good straits. Nothing lost except for those that were ventured in Ukraine. And a robust retreat, but then hold position in Yakut or Venki National. And then we have the Russians supporting this, and maybe even going into Pointung this turn to get $2 more. And then we have the Germans, who had a focus on Moscow Crush. And this is how it ends up. Pretty vulnerable in Ukraine. That could be another skirmish this time. But a sort of a trench warfare between Karelia and West Russia. They can hold their ground. These guys can hold their grounds. The Atlantic, you still have one ship there, and I do have a projection of power over most of the sea zones around the English Channel. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is just a pinning force, just to annoy the British. And of course, if they move out without paying attention, that can sneak into Egypt. So the British took a fairly conservative approach, saving $10 and purchased 3 infantry for India. They have collected themselves here off of East Africa and plan to combine themselves with this fleet as well as the South Pacific Fleet here. And then also we have a lot of units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units in sub-Saharan Africa, as well as some. And then because of the destruction of the transport off of Formosa, India is safe. And we have some freedom. We did succeed at everything. All right, the Japanese made progress on making sure that they have an infrastructure to get onto Asia. Despite the loss of their transport, they retained their entire fleet, and they are powerful. And I don't think they've lost 1 or 2 infantry. Maybe they've lost none, 1 or 2. And the Americans chose to gather together in these 2 sea zones. They will be able to combine in zone 54 next turn and have a fleet larger than the Japanese fleet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, they're be equal. So they have an equal Navy, especially when I drop stuff right here. I will actually surpass them. Oh, and we have an Air Force here. So a real pinning move, but also a real move where I can start bringing ferrying fighters from this spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, to where we'll have a Russian assembly, and this will become a rock. And of course, from there we go to Moscow. All right, that's the plan, and I like it. It is what I would say was a very basic game, um, sort of the old-fashioned Russia Crush from Classic, and yet also I like this and the fact that it gets units into action right away. Africa is obviously not going to be contested at all, just no possibility. And then the other thing is that I've saved $10, and yet I still have two fighters, and I can drop a navy here. And yes, he could attack the navy, but very likely at loss, significant loss. And I'm not going to drop a navy next turn. It'll be actually turn 3 that I drop the navy. All right, guys, that is it. I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to wait for my fellow to show up.